You think your hip arthritis pain can't get better? Well, think again.
You don't have to live with stiffness and discomfort. Today we're going to show you different ways to stretch that hip, reduce pain, and get back into activities.
That's right. We're actually going to take a look back in time from a video Bob did 6 years ago where they cover 4 different stretches you can try for your arthritic hip. And then we're going to come back to the current time to show you a couple strengthening exercises and a nice bonus option.
Did you get a new mustache?
I did.
Wow.
I had it the whole time. I just cut the rest off.
All right, let's go.
Well, how are we getting there?
We're going in the TARDIS. Here we go. Yes. Yeah, the new TARDIS is working out very well. Let's get going. Break it in.
Budget cuts, you know. Cardboard boxing.
Oh. Are you ready, everyone? Here we go.
I'll stay here.
Whoa, rampart. Oh, wrong time phase. Let's get back to 6 years ago, and we're off.
Bob and Brad, the 2 most famous physical therapists on the internet.
Yeah.
Anyways, shall we go on with
All
the
right,
hip?
arthritis type pain that you have in your hip, it's not always from the joint itself.
Mm-hmm.
The structures around the joint, as time goes on, get tight, like the ligaments and the tendons.
The capsule.
Yeah, and the capsule. And the tighter they get, generally a lot of times, the more pain you get in the hip.
Right.
And
It's a compounding issue. It gets a little tighter, gets a little more pain, which makes it you want to move less, and so it gets tighter and tighter, more and more pain. So you got to break the cycle.
right. And even if you see, some pretty significant changes on X-ray, that doesn't mean that it means you're going to have pain.
Sure.
So a lot of times, the more you can regain the motion in your hip, the more the pain reduces. It's certainly worth a try.
It is.
It can maybe provide a lot of relief to your hip in your life. So we're going to show you some 4 basic stretches.
Yep.
We're going to do. And Brad's going to show the ones in the bed, but I'm going to show the one on a chair here. First off, just regular old hip flexion. That's bending the hip, the knee towards you.
Knee to the chest.
Now, what's nice about this? You can just go up to a chair, you grab the back of it if your balance isn't that good, and you can lean forward like this, and you can stretch forward like this.
Sure.
And you're stretching this one, the flexion. You're actually getting a little extension on the other one.
Right. Yep. You're getting both sides.
Kind of getting both sides there, and just a good way to work on getting a little more hip flexion.
Now, when you go do that again, Bob, would you do that and also lean in towards the knee?
You could do that.
if you want.
You could lean forward a little bit. Exactly. That's a good point, Brad.
Make sure you don't have tight jeans on, though.
That's right.
You need something flexible.
You want
stretchy.
the Zubas. Remember the Zuba pants?
No.
I
I don't get out.
bet you Mike knows those. Yeah, yeah, he knows them. All right, Brad, why don't you show hip flexion laying down?
So are we do the figure 4? We're going to
No,
show.
I thought you do hip flexion.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm ahead of my scale. There we go. So here we're going to bring the knee to the chest. If you have a tight knee, you may have to grab underneath the knee and pull up. I know I've had a number of patients, maybe they have a knee problem or arthritic knee, so it works well. Or a knee replacement recently.
What's nice about this, you can wake up in the morning and just go right into this.
Yep.
Do your stretches or even before you go to bed. You can actually do hip flexion and hip extension at the same time. Do you want to flex that one, Brad, and take that one off the edge of the bed?
Yep.
So now he's extending this hip, and at the same time, he's stretching that hip into flexion. And look at what happens when he pulls on this one. You see how that one's coming up? That shows you there's some tightness in there, and he needs to stretch it a little bit.
Yeah. Now, the other thing that you can do is bring this knee up and across your chest, and that gets a little bit of the piriformis, which is a muscle that goes to the hip and can be tight. So make sure you get that too while you're working.
Absolutely. All right. Yeah. Now you want to go ahead and do your figure 4, Brad? You were so anxious to do before.
I really like the figure 4. So with this knee up, ankle to the knee, and then a little stretch this way. This shouldn't be painful. It should just feel like a good, comfortable stretch.
So you're taking the hip into external rotation. What's nice about this one, this is a really easy one to do in your chair also. You can just bring the leg up over across the other knee, and you just go ahead and pressure on, pressure off, pressure on, pressure off. Now you can actually compare the 2 sides too, and if one is tight, the knee is going to be up higher, and that one you may want to focus and spend a little more time on it. If it's just like the wayward child in your family. You might want to spend a little more time on raising that one. So
Were you the
I like to
wayward
throw.
child?
I was, yeah.
I can imagine how much time they had to spend with you.
Yeah.
But you could do the same thing laying down. You know, here, my knee goes to here. And if you do the other leg and it only goes this far, it's probably the painful hip. And that's the one you're going to spend a little more time on. And you can also do the figure 4 with this knee down and just let
Absolutely.
gravity help it out this way.
You want to show, Brad, do you want to show internal rotation too? How
Oh,
you can do that?
Yeah, I really like this. So both knees will be up. I'll take my left ankle and put it on my right knee, and then I'm going to pull it across this way. Is this what you? This
Yep,
is what
that's
you're
exactly what I
referring
had
to?
in mind. Yep.
Yep. And this is when I actually hadn't done this until you showed me this, Bob, a couple years ago, and I really like
I'll
it.
do it once in a while. I don't always. It's not that tight. My hip isn't that tight
Yeah.
in that direction, so but
Mine's gotten better because one side was clearly tighter than the other, and I don't have that so much anymore.
and with hip problems, that it's not a problem for you to lose internal rotation. So it's one of the hallmark signs of hip arthritis.
Yep.
So you definitely want to include that one.
Whoa, I'm already back. Hey, those are some nice stretches. I actually do 3 of those to this day on a regular basis to keep my hips moving and feeling good. But we're going to actually show you some different and modifications of those, right, Mike?
You know what else you do regular day now?
What?
Back to then? Wear
What?
the same pants.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, once you got a good thing going, you don't, you know, my wife always says that too. Maybe we should get some new pants. Whatever. The exercises are good.
So we're going to get into 2 strengthening exercises. So the first 4 were stretches. These are strengthening. The first one is a glute bridge. So we're going to start in supine, laying on your back. You can do this on the floor if you're comfortable getting there. If you're not, you can do it in a bed, but it might be a little soft. So for beginners, just focus on hands touching the mat. Squeeze those butt cheeks together first, and then you're going to lift up towards the air, hold for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then come back down slowly. Try to control it. Again, every time, make sure you're squeezing your glutes, going up in the air, holding 3 to 5 seconds, and down slow. This is going to develop much better strength and a mind-muscle connection than just going up and down like this every 2 seconds to get a bunch of repetitions in. If this becomes easy, you can certainly make it more challenging by taking your hands out of the equation. You can put a band around your knees if you happen to have a loop band, which Brad has one there. You actually engage a couple of your other glute muscles to keep it apart while you're stabilizing up and down. But just do what feels good for your hip. You don't have to progress to the band. And most people, I think, double leg would be good if you have hip arthritis. I would not worry about progressing to single leg unless you're very active and just have mild arthritis. So.
That's right. Yeah, that whole idea of thinking about those muscles contracting together can make a big difference just as opposed to arbitrarily doing the motion.
Now, the next one is hip abduction, or kicking out to the side. We're going to do this in a standing fashion. So for beginners, hold on to something for support, stick, maybe stand at a countertop, hold on to a chair. And
Oh, look at that. We can both use the stick.
I
That's
guess.
teamwork.
And then you're going to kick one foot out to the side. Keep your pelvis nice and neutral. Do not sway. Do not let your toe rotate out because that's a different muscle group we're not trying to isolate. If you can easily do 10 repetitions on each side, then you can progress to adding some resistance. Again, let pain be your guide with this exercise. Go out as far as you comfortably can and control it back in. Don't just do quick little motions like this. You can use a resistance band like this, or you can use the large bands we have on the wall behind as some sort of resistance if it becomes too easy. Or you can use a cuff weight if you happen to have one at home, just to add some form of resistance. Makes it a lot more challenging. And make sure to do both sides, because the leg that is standing upright is actually engaging the same muscle group, so you kind of get a double whammy.
Yeah, actually, this is really nice using the bands. But again, you don't need to do that. One compensation that a lot of patients I've had mistake, in other words, is they would lift the leg out, but then they would take their shoulders and trunk and do this. That's not going to work near the muscle near as well as just like this, where you really isolate toes forward.
Now, when it comes to arthritis, another option to do before these stretches is to heat up the area. Now, you can do this through a hot bath. You can use heating packs at home, whatever you have. Personally, here, something good and beneficial is the Thermatex Platinum Far Infrared Heat. Now, this is different than normal heat because it penetrates a lot deeper and actually gets into the joint area. So it goes 2.36 inches compared to just millimeters or centimeters with typical heat.
That's right. This is something that I've used it many times, and it's a nice soft heat. There's only one setting. You don't have to worry about getting the contact directly to your skin because the far infrared can actually go through the air gap if it's not tight. It's a big benefit to it. And you'll need to sit on it or use it for about 30 to 45 minutes. So watching TV, reading a book is a good time to do it.
Yeah, and you can just, it comes with straps. This model does. You get a discount when you use our link down below in the description, but you can use it on any body part. You don't just have to use it on your hip. You don't have to just use the heat on your hip. You can use it anywhere, but they are a little pricey, so obviously
So they get a discount with,
they do.
With us.
But it is a good investment because it's something that'll last a long time. We've had these since for like 10, 12 years, and they've been fine.
Yep. Very good. Enjoy the day. Keep your hips moving and pain-free.
And if you want another video on hip pain, click the video link on the screen.
Yeah. 5 hip pain tips. No meds, no workout. And what else? No. It's going to be something.
No more pain.
Enjoy the day.